Strong winds snap a tree, resulting in severe damage to a home in the mountains. This is what the scene looked like this morning in Weaverville. The homeowner was actually inside when the tree toppled over. As News 13's Taylor Stewart shows us, he's warning people to check on the health of their trees.
Kenneth Parker says this is the aftermath of winter weather and gusty winds.
Sort of like an earthquake.
Around 1 a.m.,
I heard a loud boom.
The sound of this massive tree slamming into his home. Branches plunged into his bedroom and sheetrock landed in his bed.
Jumped up. My wife was covered in the stuff, and there was tree limbs sticking out of the ceiling and the roof of the house.
The tree demolished this porch.
Tried to get out the front door.
The pair blocked by roof shingles and branches.
Had to come down to the garage and got out.
Only to find tree limbs punctured the hood and shattered the glass of his silver Honda Accord.
Yeah, the car's probably a total loss.
Democratic presidential candidates are traveling all over the Carolinas.
Senator Bernie Sanders just spoke in Spartanburg a few hours ago. And that's where News 13's Caitlin Penner is joining us live tonight. And Caitlin, he held a rally at Wofford College.
He did, and so he was in Winston-Salem earlier this morning, and then tonight he showed up to Wofford College to a crowd of almost 2,000 people.
During what could be the deciding days of the Democratic primary, thousands showed up to Wofford College in Spartanburg to support Senator Bernie Sanders.
We go to Brevard College, which is in Brevard, North Carolina, which is about an hour and a half away from here.
I'm here to support Bernie Sanders and bring in my daughter to so she could see the politics and stuff.
Health care to all people as a human right.
With just 2 days out from South Carolina's primary, 5 from North Carolina's.
We have been kind of running all over the country. We've spent a lot of time here in South Carolina. We're visiting Super Tuesday states as well.
Sanders is polling behind former Vice President Joe Biden in South Carolina, neck and neck in North Carolina. In South Carolina, where African Americans make up around 60% of the vote, Sanders says winning their vote is done the same way he'll win over conservatives.
Well, you win them by talking about the issues that are of importance to working people, to the African American community, and to all communities.
Sanders says if he is nominated, he believes he will unify the Democratic Party, using support tonight as proof Sanders says he can beat President Donald Trump.
And I think at the end of the day, mark my words, what you're going to see is that all of the Democratic candidates will rally around the winner of the primary. I hope it's me.
Today marks 2 years since Asheville Firefighter Will Willis passed away. He died after being diagnosed with cancer from the job.
The state classified his death as a line of duty death. News 13's Stephanie Santostasi is live in Asheville now. And Stephanie, 2 years later and still no presumptive cancer legislation for firefighters in North Carolina.
Right, which is obviously frustrating for departments like Asheville. Right now, occupational cancer in the fire service is the #1 killer for firefighters. It's what took the life of Will Willis on this day 2 years ago. Today, firefighters and family members gathered at Station 6 to honor him. Fire Chief Scott Burnett talked about Will's lasting legacy, specifically his selflessness and great attitude. He knew how to light up a room.
This firehouse was always full of life. When Will was here on duty, it's full of life today. I think that Will would be very pleased to see all of you here to remember him.
At last check, North Carolina is one of just 17 states that does not have a presumptive cancer law in place. For years now, firefighters have been working with lawmakers to make that happen here. However, due to the fact that no budget has been passed in North Carolina this year, bills like this one have stalled. Firefighters hope the bill will gain some momentum when the General Assembly reconvenes in the next few months.
Property in Barnardsville is under investigation tonight.
Buncombe County officials searched the property earlier this week to see if the owners were following building codes. News 13's Taylor Young spoke to neighbors who are calling it a major eyesore.
People in the area say this property has been multiple businesses over the years. Recently, a new property owner took over and has been transforming it ever since. But the county says they never submitted those changes for approval, and it's not up to code.
Signs, murals, and a three-headed dragon made out of tires. It's an eyesore.
Are hard to miss when driving on Route 197 in Barnardsville.
Well, that was the old Barnardsville telephone office. And there was a beauty shop, a vet office and all right there. That was before they junked the place.
It was nice when we moved in.
Jason Best lives next door and says his neighbor's yard and structures have changed dramatically over the years.
Seems like they find trash and they bring it here and try to turn it into something that they may think is beautiful, but other people might have other opinions.
Views from his backyard show construction work and land development.
And it was just the main building and this main building, and now you can see what it's turned into.
Back in January, the Buncombe County Fire Marshal visited the property after receiving calls from frustrated neighbors but weren't allowed in. Tuesday, the county used a search warrant to enter the property in suspicion of building, fire prevention, and other code violations. News 13 reached out to the property owners on Facebook who call the development the Blueberry Village. They weren't available for an interview, but say, in part, we told the county we would happily allow them in for an inspection when we were ready. They chose to keep us in the dark and then put us in the dark by demanding that Duke Energy turn off our lights, and they say they were protecting us from ourselves since it wasn't safe.
I would love for it to, if not go back to its normal state, then yeah, let's turn it into a parking lot.